Welcome to the Howell Business Beat, where we delve deep into the dynamic world of entrepreneurship, innovation, workforce talent, economic development, and more, bringing you the latest insights and strategies to thrive in today's competitive business landscape. I'm Janelle Smith, president of the Howell Area Chamber of Commerce, and today I'm joined by my co-host, Dianne Samples. Welcome, Dianne.
Welcome. Thank you for having me today.
Yes, and we also have the pleasure today of having our esteemed guest with us, Traci Costa. She is the president and CEO of Athena International. Welcome, Traci.
Thank you, Janelle and Diane. It's wonderful to be with you both today.
Yes. Well, thank you for joining us because you're currently in the middle of the ocean. So we appreciate you making the time for us and doing this podcast to talk a little bit more about Athena. So
Sure.
we're really excited about Athena for some other reasons that we'll dive into here shortly. But one of the things before we get started is I always love to have our guests introduce themselves, just share a little bit about your background. And then, of course, we want to know about Athena.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having us. Athena is actually based out of Middle Michigan there. So being able to circle back around and have conversations and communicate with the folks in the mid-Michigan area is wonderful. But so my background is pretty diverse. I actually started out by coaching collegiate volleyball. I was the founding head volleyball coach at Belmont University in the 90s, coached there for 10 years, and then went to Prescott, Arizona, and ended up working for the Arizona Community Foundation in fund development and donor relations and grant making for a number of years, which was incredibly rewarding. And then my path took me to Olivet College, where I was actually the former presidential spouse there, and then became the founder of the Women's Leadership Institute at Olivet College, just in Olivet, Michigan there. And then joined the Athena board in it was 2018. And then was asked to step off after the pandemic to support our interim president, Ann Plater, and the rest is history. I've been in this role now for 2 years, and absolutely, it's an incredible honor.
Wow, what a journey! So funny, Prescott. When were you there last?
Let's see. Well, lived there 2001 to 2011. Yeah.
Okay. A colleague of mine who used to be the director at the Rochester Regional Chamber here in Michigan moved out to Prescott, and she now runs the chamber out there. And I
Oh
can't
my
remember.
goodness.
Yes, I know. Small
Yeah.
world.
Okay.
And so her name
Yeah.
is
Well,
Sherry Heine. And
Shara.
it was great.
Okay.
We actually just got to reconnect because we are in the same business leads fellowship cohort through the U.S. Chamber.
Wow. Small
Yeah,
world.
it is.
Well,
It is.
I'm actually going to be in Arizona probably in December, so maybe I can meet up with her. You know, the Small Business Association out there does the Tri-City Business, does the Leadership Award out in Prescott.
Oh, well, she would probably love that. She has a donkey and some really cool things that she was showing me pictures of. So
She's sold on the donkey.
I tell you, I was like, what? And she was showing me these pictures that she lives in this, like literally the mountains. It's absolutely beautiful. I was
Yes.
like, well, I
it
can see
is.
why you live here.
It is. Yeah, you know, it's always funny because California, everyone thinks it's a big beach, right? And we've got every topography known to man. And then the same thing with Arizona, they think desert, right? But Prescott is actually higher altitude than Denver is, and we got quite a bit of snow.
Yeah,
when
that's
we
what she
lived
was saying.
there. Mhm.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
lived out in Phoenix on and off in the early 90s, and that was really hard for me to wrap my head around. It was almost like being in Michigan, where you could be down in the valley at 110 degrees, and then 3 hours away they were skiing, and I was just like, "What
Yeah.
is this?"
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Well,
for
so
sure.
you're back to Michigan, and you have been, you started with Athena in 2018 of the board, and then moved into
Mhm.
the president and CEO
Yeah.
position. And what
Yeah.
a wealth of knowledge that you were able to bring with you given your career pathway. So that is so
Yeah.
amazing. I love to always ask that question because I find it really interesting
Yes.
to see what people's backgrounds are and how they end up in the place that
Hmm.
they do. Because I think,
Yeah.
I don't know, for me at least, anyways, when I was growing up and people are asking me like, "What do you want to do when you grow up?" And like you just don't really have any idea. So at least I did,
Yeah.
and I was like, "These are the things I like," and it was really
Yeah.
cool, like just figuring out like what you don't like too, throughout
For
that
sure,
course.
for sure.
So,
That can
um,
definitely get you on that path. But yeah, right now I'm pretty much a digital nomad because Athena is doesn't have any real kind of home office. We actually have our office out of Maynard Casteris, our management firm there in Lansing, and I can work from anywhere. So I packed everything that I own up into storage and hit the road about a year and a half ago, and have made a little over 60 award community visits in the last year and a half.
oh,
Oh,
that's
wow. That
amazing.
is.
Well,
Hmm.
wow. What a way to see all sorts of different places and
Yeah.
communities. So you have several award communities as part of Athena, but let's
Hmm.
talk a little bit about Athena before we dive into that and just share a little bit
Sure.
about what Athena is.
Yeah, Athena is a catalyst for developing diverse and transformative leaders from young scholars to seasoned professionals. We have leadership training for middle school, high school, higher ed, men and women, because we feel like everybody needs to learn what's at the heart of Athena, and that is the 8 principles of enlightened leadership, which is live authentically, learn constantly. We build relationships, foster collaboration, act courageously, advocate fiercely, give back, and celebrate. And through our research, we found that these are the ways in which women lead a more inclusive, collaborative style of leadership. And it has really been the backbone of what we do at Athena. And we've presented over 8,300 Athena Awards locally, nationally, and globally. And some of our most prominent global award recipients are Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Condoleezza Rice, Dolores Huerta, Dr. Janetta B. Cole, and then we have a plethora of local award recipients in the state of Michigan. Michigan actually is, I think, our second largest and the only one to have a state wide Michigan Athena through the Michigan Chamber.
Yes, and we are very excited to be launching our local awards community here in the
Hmm.
Livingston County region. So we are excited to bring Athena to our members and our community right here in Livingston. So can you speak to what it means to just be an awards community?
Yeah. So, what it means to be an awards community is the willingness to bring together the local leaders and with the principles as the background and looking at who are the trailblazers, who are the pioneers and the mentors in the local community that are doing their part to bring a balance in leadership voices worldwide, right? Because as we all know, when you have balance in leadership at the table, when you have all voices at the table, it improves the bottom line. And so, really, it encourages local communities to connect women leaders and allies and to do their part to amplify them and celebrate them and the good work that they're doing in their local communities to mentor and elevate everyone in particularly girls and women in leadership.
Right. We always say celebrate and elevate.
And I love
Absolutely.
I love those descriptions, the trailblazers and pioneers, because I think that
Yeah.
really speaks to a level of commitment within a community for
Hmm.
someone to be labeled or someone to aspire to
Right.
that designation.
Hmm.
So when we started Sparkle and Strive, it was 3 years ago.
2022.
So
So yep, we've
yep,
had
3
three.
years ago, and it was we had actually. I'll back up a little bit further. So when I started at the chamber in 18, we had this big wall that was in the back, and I said, we're going to paint this wall and we're going to make it a chalkboard wall. So we did, and it was like this wall that we just like I wanted people to kind of write their big ideas on and really just look at those so we could see those. And one of the first things that we added to that wall was Athena. So I had recently been invited to attend a Michigan Athena event and was just so I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we were just
Oh,
I
yeah,
love
that's
it.
fancy.
And it spoke to me so much, and I knew that was one of the things that we were really lacking was a women's leadership event. And we
Yeah.
have so many amazing women in our community, in our region,
Yes.
and to be able to bring this to them, to have a platform where we can celebrate and elevate all of the amazing things that they're
Yeah.
doing, and to really recognize those
Exactly.
trailblazers and those individuals.
Yeah.
It was just like this was something we have to do.
Yeah.
And Dianne has been doing just an incredible job of driving this. So she really, I mean, spoke to the Sparkle and Strive, and I mean, that was your thing, and you took it, and now we get to see Athena come to life, and it's amazing.
Well, I remember because I started in 2019, so almost a year to like the month that you started the year prior. And I remember asking you, like, what is Athena? Like, and see this Athena and thinking of like this Greek god. And I'm like, what is that? So then I started doing the research on it. And so it was like in 2019, we were throwing it out there, like, we're going to have to do this. And then, of course, like everybody else, COVID came and that kind of
Yeah.
just, we had to pause everything. And that kind of put that way on the back burner. So it was exciting to
Yeah.
be able to finally be able to bring that to the forefront. And it
Yeah.
was really good. I mean, there was so much excitement when we announced that, and your video at Sparkle and Strive just almost a month ago. So it was
Yeah.
really, really exciting to see that, just excitement from everybody and that engagement.
Well, and I think this is, it was a great way to dovetail. So Sparkle and Strive was a great way to dovetail into Athena and to be able to bring this and just really recognize that this is going to bring our women's leadership and the recognition of the women in leadership to that next level. So
Yeah.
we couldn't be more thrilled about that. But also, Tracy, could you speak to some of the leadership opportunities that Athena also offers? I
Sure.
know you mentioned a little
Sure.
bit like
Yeah.
engaging at that middle school level. So what does that look like?
Yeah. Yeah. And to kind of leapfrog off of what you were saying earlier to the COVID, when COVID hit, when we were really almost had to close our doors because all of the events went away, right? And
Mhm.
we steadily building ourselves out of that and really starting to gain momentum now and having some incredible strategic partnerships. One being with the WIT Network for the last 4 years, that we've been providing leadership training to women from 30 different countries, all in the same cohorts. And they're from all of the tech industry, which is male dominant, right? And we have put over 800 women from, like I said, 30 different countries through the leadership training. And then also we have really expanded it and scaled it to our youth are really struggling right now
Mhm.
with a sense of self and their self-empowerment and self-awareness. And that is what is the difference between other leadership trainings and ours is a lot of them bring the more tactical, technical stuff, right? Ours is more of a deep internal journey into who you are and leaning into best practices and whatnot, and then really coming together. But the thing that is in every single cohort we have gone through at the last several years, at the very end, all the participants, they are now created their own sense of community, right?
Mhm.
And support for one another. And they get the raise, they get the promotion, they get the recognition while going through it. They find the courage within to self advocate because as women, we don't really do that very well. As
Mhm.
advocate, we do a great job at celebrating others and
Mm-hmm.
celebrating other and uplifting others, but we don't do a good job about our own journey. And then also it really does it's important that we do our work, right? So that we can show up in our external relationships the way that we want to. Because I am convinced, as I have traveled across and interviewed all of these amazing Athena Award recipients from the past 4 decades, from across the country. It was interesting, the through line that I was finding. And one of them was the fact that we've lost the ability as a society to have the difficult conversations and to be able to be curious and compassionate in conflict. And that's one of the things that we talk about in our Athena leadership training. And it's not just for women, it's for men too, to learn how to be conscious, compassionate leaders. And that is where, we have like five generations right now in the workforce, and being
We have them all in
able
our
to,
office.
right? And
We
it's
do. There's there's five
it's,
of us, and I think we've got one in
yeah,
every generation.
it is. And we have to learn to work together and to be collaborative, and but we have to do our own internal work and be really strong within ourselves, because otherwise we're just all showing up to work as wounded children, and we're not going to get anything done. And we've got to do the the self-awareness so that we can really and looking at ourselves, and what are the things that are self-limiting beliefs, what are our own patterns of behavior, or things that we are constantly the listening to the chatterbox, the inner critic, right? And how to quiet that inner critic. And we talk about all the different conflict styles. We talk about building a strong relationship with yourself. We talk about self-care. In fact, there's it was all built upon those Athena principles, right? And actually, there's so many people in the Mid-Michigan area that have played such a critical part in this. And one, the founder, Martha Mertz, for us having the wherewithal to collaborate with a bunch of individuals in the Lansing area to launch Athena International 40 years ago in Lansing. And then all of the incredible Athena leaders that are there now. We have Michelle Massey with Tech Smith, who is on our international board right now. Sherry Jones with WNLNS, who was on the board for a number of years. And all of them are Athena Award recipients. We have Nicole Noel Williams, an Athena Award recipient from, the CEO at the Lansing Airport. There's so much rich history in the Lansing area. And we're so excited to have you now a part of that, and being able to bring it to your community too, and bring women together, and men and girls, and just getting to a place where we're reaching out and working and creating community together.
Well, I love it. So much of what you said resonates, and I'm gonna do a throwback here to our first Sparkle and Strive event that we had, and I'll never forget. Cindy Garza was one of our panelists, and her thing, like one of her big messages to the women in the audience, was get your ask in gear. And it's because women have a hard time advocating for
Yes.
themselves, and
Yes.
that stuck with me. I mean, what is that? That was 3 years ago, and I'll never forget that. And I loved the phrase, and she was just phenomenal. And another thing, I mean, even like down to our core values. I mean, our core values are one of them is being authentically curious. And it's wonderful that these are the types of elements that Athena brings to these awards communities. And we're just beyond thrilled to be a part of that.
And I just really love the fact, too, that these principles, they go outside of the professional arena. So they really speak to even women who maybe are in transitional careers, or women who have taken a pause to enjoy staying at home with their kids, and which is the toughest job of all. But being able to, it extends out to them and it resonates with them. So it's not, I mean, it's not just geared to professional women. It's geared towards all women, all and like you said, men. Anybody can
Everybody.
can
Yeah.
put these into practice and can benefit
Hmm.
from the leadership program.
Yeah.
So that to me is
Absolutely.
really exciting to be able to bring that to the community.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think,
When I was at Olivet, we had taken our college students through it, right? And then we had taken them, and they became mentors to high school and middle school students in
Mm-hmm.
a summer camp. And I got to tell you, the number of parents that I had emailing me and calling me afterwards saying, my daughter is showing up differently now. She's looking people in the eye. She's taking on leadership roles she never would have considered before. And she's talking about worthiness and authenticity. And she never would have done that. And she has a lot more courage than she ever had before, and learning to take courage to overcome fears and using that, right? And getting her a lot more stronger self-awareness, self-esteem. And it's in those pivotal years it's so important to teach them to not lose their authentic self. And what does that look like, and what does that mean? And I think it's great that you guys are going to be bringing it to
Tracy, if I
your
had
community.
a heart thing, I would be doing it right now. That
I'll
is
do it for you.
amazing.
I mean, it does. It really does. Because I have two, my girls, I have one that's 24 and one that's 31. And I look at this program and they both are incredible leaders within their own right. But to have a
Hmm.
program like this, to just be able to, like you said, elevate those skills and just bring a new sense of awareness
Yeah.
to what they're doing and how they're leading.
Hmm.
And I just,
Hmm.
yeah, I really do.
Hmm.
And to bring it to the younger ages, because I think that middle
Yeah.
school age is when kids really, like you said, they really struggle. They try to find a sense
Hmm.
of community. I mean, they're in these huge
Hmm.
schools, yet a lot of times they still feel so alone. So this is giving
Right.
them an outlet to be able to, kind of work with like-minded people and build that sense
Hmm.
of community, even in at that age level, and to have that awareness. I
Yeah.
think that's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, because the women, they feel it too, right?
Mm-hmm.
They feel alone. They feel we've lost sense of community, and it brings them together into community. And if we're struggling as adults, just think about how difficult it is for our younger generations.
Mm-hmm.
And a
Absolutely.
lot of mental health struggles right now. And I've got to say, it's positively impacted my life as well. And I've got to give a shout out to all the people that have been involved with creating it as to what it is today. I mean, we built on the foundation of the principles, right? But the I mean, even right there, I mean, here, keep coming back to Middle Michigan, right? You have the great granddaughter of Ransom Ariol's Polo Rio Tate was instrumental in helping to create the content as it is today, and really infusing into it um, her superpowers of wellness and mindfulness. And it wouldn't be what it is today without all the hard work and effort that she put into it. And all of the difficult times of struggling to keep our doors open, and the board just contributing and rolling up their sleeves and getting the work done and being a working board. And it's a grassroots organic effort that is actually growing and expanding and positively impacting girls and women and men all over. I mean, right now we're in the middle of our first Indigenous leaders cohort that's being led out of Sault Ste. Marie, Canada, and really excited about that, and tying in the teachings of the grandfathers of the Native peoples, and really looking at the alignment and how it meshes and intertwines with us. So there's so many different people that have played an integral part in making it what it is today.
That's amazing and
Mm-hmm.
sounds absolutely incredible. And again, we couldn't be more excited to be a part of this. And it will we'll have more details to come, hopefully soon. Right?
Yes.
As I put Dianne on the
Put
spot.
me on the
Right?
spot, Janelle. Thank you. Yes,
always
absolutely.
count
Well,
on me.
Tracy and I just met last week, so I have a bunch of notes, and like I said, we're kind of working through the process. So yes, much more to come.
Awesome. Well, Traci, is there anything else that you'd like to share with us before we wrap up today?
Oh, just I got to tell you, it's so important for us to come together in community, and I think that to remain hopeful and courageous through these times, and to really try to reach across and create togetherness, and to have the difficult conversations, and to hold space for each other, and to allow people to see and understand, and be seen and understood. And I think it's so important that we come together more instead of continuing to be divided.
Absolutely. What a great message to end the conversation with. So, thank you so much for joining us
Thank you.
from the sea.
Yes.
From the sea,
Yeah.
Safe
sailing,
travels.
sailing the seven seas.
That's right. So, yeah, safe travels back home, and we look forward to having you
Yeah,
visit during our
yeah,
awards. So,
yeah.
at
I
one
would love
point or
that. I would
another.
love that.
All
Yeah.
right.
And if you've got anybody in your community that wants to join us at our conference, go to our website at athenainternational.org. Love to have them. There's a few cabins left on the Valiant Lady, and look forward
I
to
love the name
coming
of
and
that.
celebrating with you. And yeah, yeah.
Well, we
Looking
appreciate
forward
all of
to
your
coming to your
insight.
community and celebrating with you.
Likewise.
Yeah. Thank
Thank you
you.
so
Thanks for
much,
having me.
Traci.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you soon. And to our listeners, we'll catch you next time on the Howell Business Beat.